Good morning, St. John Valley. This is Wake Up SJV. I'm Eric Warnken. Welcome to June. It is Monday, June 1st, 2020. COVID 2020. Today's featured local artist, Adam Willett with CJ Terrio. Let's take a listen. Remember you like child. I've seen a lot of what the sun can do. It's taking my heart into. Doesn't ever want to see you sad. Show me a bad girl. If you want to leave, take good care. You make a lot of nice friends out there. Just remember there's a lot of bad everywhere. Ooh, baby, it's wild. Sorry about just upon a style. Ooh, baby, it's wild. Always remember you like child. If you want to leave, take good care. You make a lot of nice friends out there. Remember there's a lot of that everywhere. Ooh, baby, it's wild. Father, goodbye, just upon a smile. Ooh, baby, it's a wild world. Always remember you like child girl. Ooh, baby, it's a wild world. Trying to get by just upon a smile. Ooh, baby, it's a wild world. Always remember you like child girl. All right. Adam Willett alongside CJ Terrio on drums. That's a performance. They were seeking donations probably early March. I don't have the date right in front of me, but one of my most favorite local tandems right there. So great stuff by Adam Willett with CJ. And as we all slowly get through this madness, we open up a new month, and a beautiful, beautiful weekend it was. A little rain yesterday, but for the most part, great stuff. Coming up at 7:30, we have Jennifer Gaillon Desjardins. She is, folks, doing a lot for the area. She is a licensed addiction specialist, also a women's certified fitness specialist and a group fitness instructor. That is a lot to do on a daily basis. I don't know if she sleeps, but we'll ask her that question among some others here. But let's take our first look at the weather. I want to encourage you, please, to post your questions, your comments, your concerns. If maybe you're watching on the St. John Valley
live platform, swing over to Facebook, go to channel 4. There is a live question feed there where you can pick our brains and ask us what you're thinking. Today's weather, here we go. Brought to you by the National Weather Service. Not going to be as hot as last week, but hey, that may not be a bad thing. National Weather Service out of Gray, Maine, I believe, is their main hub. Caribou up here in the county, and this report is from Frenchville Northern Aroostook Regional Airport, where they got some sort of tower over there. Excuse me, but the coffee is good this morning. Okay, so right now it's 36. We did have a frost warning, patchy frost. Hopefully you covered your flowers, your plants, and yourselves last evening. High of 57 today. That's nice. Believe me, that's nice. Let's look at my nemesis, the wind. Now a light northwest wind increasing 6 to 11 miles per hour. Overnight, watch it again, lower around freezing, 33-ish. The rest of the week looks great. I do not see, my friends, much rain. It'll take us into what promises to be a solid weekend with a high of 76 by Friday. Saturday, some T-storms, but in the 70s. So here we come, summer. Hope you had a great weekend. You were able to enjoy it outside or with family and friends for sure. Let's get out of here. Just a lot going on with COVID-19. And I'm not really going to get into too much about the violence now that's breaking out nationwide over racism. I hesitate to say, but I think we live, I'll just say, I think we live in a great, great area here in the St. John Valley with so much diversity, with local hospital and healthcare facilities bringing in diverse families, in the university here in Fort Kent, where I know my kids were introduced to diversity in different cultures at a young age, and comes down to respect. But anyway, we're dealing with that nationwide and COVID and everything reopening. But let's take a look quickly at the Bangor Daily News and a couple stories here for you that I enjoyed this morning as I got up and going. Today's a big day, June 1st, because that was kind of targeted as a date that we could start reopening, but that was targeted by Governor Mills on a date where some stuff can start reopening. And what exactly will that be? So there is a story. What is reopening today, June 1st? Okay, these are the type of businesses. So let me click here again. I don't even know why I came back to my ugly mug. Let's share again. Let's blow this up. There you see my little skit, but I want to click on, here we go. So these are the type of businesses that are reopening or that can. Now, keep in mind, some will not. They just either they don't see it financially feasible or maybe safety wise. Concern is certainly still there. Downstate will look different than northern Maine. Public gatherings, though, now starting today goes from 10 to 50. So I think the fear is, 50 becomes 1,000 or whatever, but public gatherings can now move to 50. And for example, graduation here in Fort Kent at Community High School, we have 57 seniors. They'll be spaced outside on June, Friday, June 12th. So in a couple weeks, that class of 2020 will be strategically and spaced over there at the soccer field. But anyway, so groups of 50 now. We'll get into that later this week. We have Actually, on Wednesday, pretty excited about this. We have the principal over at Madawaska Middle High School. Wayne Anderson will join us, Mr. Anderson. And we'll talk about their forthcoming graduation. Restaurants and lodging, there are some open, and they're going to continue to roll those out. As you see, restaurants in Androscoggin, Cumberland, and York counties are still closed to dine in, as the cases down there and the are a lot more prevalent, if you will. Hotels, motels, bed and breakfast. So for hotels in those type of places, they can take Maine residents and non-residents who have completed a 14-day quarantine. So I don't know how the heck that works. I don't know if you cross into the state and there's some sort of sign up or whatnot. But anyway, those are open. Parks, RV parks opened May 22nd. And today, non-Maine residents may also stay at parks once again if they've completed the quarantine. Retail stores opening up, and you'll see, for example, presently stores with 7,500 square feet or less may only have 5 people in the store at a time. So, I do recall I went to Walmart to get my wonderful daughter a bike for her birthday back in late April. And I had to wait outside, and they were bringing people into Walmart, 6 feet distance, waiting in line in groups. So allowed occupancy levels go up with increases in square footage, topping out at 100 people in large stores such as Walmart. So there you go. And Maine businesses are allowed to deny service or entry to people who are not wearing cloth face. So you need that face mask. And as we talked about last week, not just for yourself, but for the people around you. That's the main thing. This is big for myself and my work as an athletic director and phys ed teacher. Community sport programs for both youth and adults may also resume programming today with huge restrictions, such as we're not going to see any games or scrimmages breaking out. You may, but it is strongly discouraged. It's more small group workouts. And there's a lot going on there. Coastal state parks and beaches closed in April due to overcrowding. They may reopen, similar to campgrounds. Maine school education, Maine school districts that offer summer educational program may begin those programs June 1st. So 10 students per teacher. A lot of schools similar to the ones here in the Valley are not really going to start up until summer school slated for Monday, June 22nd. So a great story there for you to check out. And one that really caught my eye. Let me get out of here. Sorry, folks. My first of the day. Here we go. So it's a cool little adventure site. So if you go, let's backtrack. You guys still with me? I hope so. Here is your daily June 1st morning update. The sort of latest on the coronavirus. I don't know if you're like me, but I do try to check this at least once, if not twice a day, morning and night. A lot going on, obviously, on a Monday. The Maine CDC will have their daily briefing, 2 p.m. today. But as I said, what kind of piqued my interest was right here. The summer is a time for Maine residents to explore their own state. So there's a website here. If you click on Aslin Sarnaki's article, boom. There's a campaign helps Maine residents plan local outdoor adventure this summer. So anyway, you go to this website, a lot of great recommendations for outdoor adventures. You go to adventurelocalmaine.com, boom. And there's a spot here where you can apply free Don't worry about it. They're not going to ask for a credit card or anything, but you'll be put into a drawing for something. But this is a great little website, Camping in Maine, so you can discover campgrounds, deals. We've got them. Find deals. Stay in the loop. Be the first. But I believe if you put your email in here, you'll be put into a drawing for something free. So let's stop share. We're gonna go. It's 7:15 a.m. Happy Monday if you're just joining us. This is Wake Up SJV. Wake up, it's Monday. Come on, get your week going. Let's go back to Adam and CJ. Once again, this is back from, let's get the date here, March 22nd of 2020. And this was a show, really, as Adam mentioned during this, in between songs, just to musical artists, and especially local musical artists, really struggling in these times, just like small business. Help them out, folks. Let's check their next click here. This is 2 hours and 59 minutes. You can tell they really enjoy what they're doing. See what the next song is. And I'm going to refill my coffee. Adam Willett, CJ Terrio. Let's fast forward them. This is not live, by the way. This is pre-recorded, but all the same, very good. I'm sure there is a spot you can donate to these gentlemen.
All right, good try. See the light. Yes, I've got no traveling more. This feeling won't leave me alone. But I won't, I will know. So as I see the light. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Put a candle in the window. 'Cause I feel I've got to move. I'm done. Oh, I'll be coming home soon. As long as I see the light. 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 Like your love to give me high, yeah. That's you. And she was there.
And those guys are good. That's Adam Willett and CJ Terrio as we continue to roll out and recognize local artists. And we have covered a bunch. And let's review. And I continue to try to get more footage, more options. YouTube's been great for a lot of these groups. Facebook has some pages on artists as well. Anybody out there has empty head footage, I'd love to have it. I do have Mr. Clap's CD back in the day. That is a disc that you put into some sort of player and it plays music. But I do have that option. Empty Head, French Toast, Travis Sear, Adam Neto, Bad Mother Boogie, Boomerang, Revolver, Jerry T Band, Taylor, a Tiger, Martin, Star City Syndicate, and even last week, Brad Hutchinson, another very good option. So if you've got artists locally here in Aroostook County, send them our way. I can't wait for the day where we can see these people play again live, and it's here, apparently, as we reopen more stuff today on Monday, June 1st. Another person I need to reconnect with and who's a musical artist down in the Portland area and a former resident here in Fort Kent is John Blanchette. Good friend of mine back in the UMFK athletic days. So we're going to try to touch base with him. Local news, we went backwards this morning, but locally, this is the last week of remote learning for the K-12 education in the St. John Valley for all Valley Unified Schools. Friday is it, folks. So if you are helping out the students, maybe you're a student watching this, doubt it, probably sleeping or starting your day studying, get it done, finish strong. Also on Friday, June 5th here at 10 a.m. on Facebook Live, and I think on this Channel 4 platform will be the 8th grade promotion. What a special time for the 8th graders as they go on to freshmen, a huge milestone for them. So that will be showcased on Friday. As far as what's going on with universities such as UMPI and UMFK, nothing, nada. I mean, I don't think you'll see much there until July 1st in any fashion, according to interim athletic director Matt Dyer, who we hope is a future guest here. UMFK and UMaine system schools will not reopen until July 1st in any fashion, as they went back to online learning really when this whole COVID thing came to fruition, whatever, once it started. 7:23 a.m. here on a Monday. Jennifer Guyon Desjardins, fitness guru, if I may call her that, as well as a licensed addiction specialist, will join us momentarily. There is a plan. There's always got to be a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. There you go. There is an integration plan that has been put into action for the Valley Unified Schools, the 4 R's, if you will. And check it out. You can get that at your district websites. MSAD 27, SAD27.org is the one here. And it's very educational. It's a 4-phase plan that goes all the way starting June 1st today. Really started as soon as it was put into place, to be honest with you, and October 5th and beyond as we go step by step here and try to reopen stuff. Also locally, I know tennis nets are up, batting cage here in Fort Kent, volleyball, nets, outdoor, walking, biking, hiking, gardening, camping, all that great stuff. I went deep. I mean, 3 hours deep. I didn't know if I was coming out. I went with the legendary coach Larry Murphy, to his hunting camp. What beautiful area. If you have not been up to the Allagash and beyond, you need to make a trip, folks. It's just beautiful country out there. And did some work at his fine hunting camp that he shares with his exceptional brother, John Murphy, who I had the pleasure with working with when I was at UMFK. And what a great spot. Little piece of heaven, if you don't mind me saying. But that was enjoyable and shared some laughs and a good time. But get out there, please. Now is the time. Fishing is really cranking. Another good friend of mine, Coach Bill Ashby, took me down to a spot. I'm not telling you any secrets. It's somewhere at the Fish River, but you can catch. I got so much fish in my freezer. I don't have room for a pack of ice, which is okay. And I had some salmon, pan-fried salmon last week. That was just great. They're all trying to get up river. They're swimming up the river. They're trying to get to the lakes. Now's the time to snag them. I see myself there this week at some point. So everything is cranking up here for the summer. Just be safe, folks. We're gonna go back and visit as we gear up for Jennifer, she's in our waiting room, waiting patiently. She's got a magazine open there and she's just chilling. But we're gonna bring in her after one more listen here to Adam and CJ from their live show back on March 22nd. And we're just gonna go, this was 2 hours. Let's see what was going on hour one. Comes a new song. Enjoy.
Again. Window at the darkness, put them over touch. You began to speak. Saying something I made right. Out of reading people's face, knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. You don't mind the same. See you around the place, taste of the whiskey. I'll give you some advice. So I had it in my bottle, drank down my last swallow. Anything to cigarette, asked me for a light, and I got deathly quiet. Based on star expressions, if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run, get down to money. And sitting at the table every time another time, when the feeling's done. Secret to surviving, knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. Every hand's a winner, every hand's a loser. Best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. Turn back towards the window, brushed out his cigarette, made it off to sleep. In the dark, the gambler broke even. In his final words, I found that he said, I can see. You got to know when to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run. Get down to money. You're sitting at the table every time the feeling's up. Well, know when to fall, know when to walk away, know when to run. You're sitting at the table in a time another kind. When the feeling's tough, you got to know when know when to fall, know when to walk away, know when to run. You get down to money. When you're sitting at the table every time another kind. When the feeling's
All right. Awesome stuff. Adam Willett, CJ Terrio, back on March 22nd, performing live on Channel 4, I believe, was the platform here, right here on St. John Valley.live. And speaking of live, we are now going to bring in Jennifer Guyon Desjardins. As soon as I can figure out where the heck I am here, here she is. Let's bring her in. She is connecting to audio, we hope. Bear with us. Jennifer is a licensed addiction specialist, women's certified fitness specialist, and group fitness instructor. Good morning, Jennifer. I think you need to click your audio. Good morning. Jennifer is experimenting with Zoom. We can't hear you. She is trying here. We certainly would like to get her thoughts on this COVID-19 madness, how it's affected her and what she does. I started a watch party here. I don't know what the heck I'm doing on Facebook, but I want to welcome one of my former players at UMFK, Rytis Karunas. Hello, Jennifer. Okay, she's having some audio issues. Can you hear me? Here we go. Let's see.
Oh, I got you.
There we go.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Welcome. You're live on Wake Up SJV. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad I finally figured this out. Thank you again.
No problem. Tell us, Jen, what the heck are you doing here to keep yourself sane? I know we're going to talk about your job as a addiction specialist, but let's get into fitness first.
Okay.
You're like me, so you're probably stir crazy. But you are a women's certified fitness specialist and a group fitness instructor. I know you do a lot. You had done a lot at the fitness center
Yes.
over at MSAD 27. So how has COVID-19 changed what you're doing?
Well, it has changed everything. Excuse me. I've had to learn a very new normal. I have been training and working with groups for about 10 years. I started out back in 2011. So my whole thing was working with people, being a group instructor, working as a personal trainer at some points. So I've had to learn how to do this live with some groups that I do. I've had to learn to do like write up workouts, which wasn't really my big thing. I really like to be hands-on. So I've learned that. I've also just recently started doing live personal training with people that aren't comfortable yet, coming to see me. So initially we weren't doing anything. I wasn't seeing anybody. I was doing a lot of online stuff, which really, like I said, challenged my comfort level, but I had to do it. I've recently started personally training people at my home and outside in my back. I have them all set up there, but some people aren't ready for that yet, and that's okay. And we still do live, but I guess I have had to realize that moving forward is not going to be the same for a while. It's just not. We want to be optimistic, but we have to be realistic at the same time. So I also have not seen my own trainer. She had a baby. So that's been different for me. I've had to teach myself my own self-discipline, and I've had to stay committed, and I've had to do everything I tell people to do. So everything has changed, Eric.
Yeah, it was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Jennifer is referring to Bianca
Yep.
Cooper, who not only stopped training because she was having a baby. So,
Yeah.
but thank goodness, a healthy baby.
Yes.
And we really miss seeing people, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that's really tough on you.
Yes.
But tell us, you've transformed yourself, and so what can you offer maybe to someone out there watching that wants to start working on their body as we get into the summer season?
Yeah.
Tell us what specifically you offer, Jennifer, to folks.
Well, I do a lot of I do have a group. It's the Elite Fitness group, and people that are into that group do have access to my live workouts. They also have access to everyday challenges. I post challenges for people to do. They also have access to other people's support, other people's feedback. So it's a nice little fitness community that we have going on there. However, if people want to work with me personally, I have restarted that. I'm also looking at starting a boot camp class outside, minimum of 10 people. And that would be right here, maybe in my own home, or maybe we could do it right in the high school field. But, obviously we do it safely and following all the guidelines. I offer that. But one of the things that, well, the most important thing that people need to remember when they transform themselves is they need to be 110% committed to the change it takes. And they need to remember that it's not going to happen overnight. And, you can have 100 trainers and you can join 100 classes, but if you're not following through with a healthy eating plan and making those changes, none of it's going to really work as well. So if you're looking for body transformation, that's a big difference between just exercising. Body transformation requires, you have a certain goal. You have an eating plan that you can't cheat on. You can cheat once in a while, but if you're really looking to change things, you got to be very, very committed to that. You got to be very committed to the routine that you set with your trainer or whoever. But I think that's hard for a lot of people to realize the commitment and the amount of work that goes into body transformation. So that's a whole different monster than just kind of exercising. Exercising is something to maintain your health, maintain your activity level, that makes you feel good. I'm usually doing it with maybe walking with a friend. Exercising is fine, but transformation takes training.
Yeah, that's a great point. As a phys ed teacher, for me, the biggest key is exercise. To put it simply, exercise makes you feel better. I know for me, just walking my dog, early in the morning, kind of wakes up your brain. And of course, I do at-home workouts now. But that's great. I mean, I think it's great that we have you on, because I think people just don't realize that there are people like you that offer great stuff, and it's motivation, right? It's tough for people to just get up and do this by themselves. So the group aspect, and now that we're kind of getting reopened to that, it's awesome. I highly encourage it. I miss seeing you guys in our fitness center. You're there in the morning with groups when I come in, and then sometimes I'll be working a basketball game and I'll go into the weight room and all of a sudden there'll be a class in there. So I'm sure your clients miss you too.
Well, I'll tell you, it was very successful. We had when we started doing it at the fitness center, we really introduced people in the community a lot to fitness and machines and weight training. And some people had never done that before. So the wellness center had opened a lot of opportunity for people to change things and be healthier and not just physically different, but self-esteem. It was just a really great thing that was going on until COVID hit.
Yeah, and people are nervous now about that. So what could you tell people? What type of precautions are you going to take as a instructor as we get this going back to some sort of normalcy?
Yeah.
What type of safety precautions are you now going to use? Now, I don't see people working out with masks,
No.
but give us maybe some things that you can
Yeah.
set our minds at ease as we get back into this.
Well, I'm part of a lot of online communities right now for people all over in every different state on how they're reopening their facilities back and how they're trying to do it, excuse me, trying to do it safely. And, above all, it depends on what kind of risk you're willing to take. I mean, if you're a 65-year-old person with a lot of health issues, are you really going to risk going into a gym and working out so maybe that's not the best idea for somebody in that category yet. But if you're 20 years old and you're fit and you've got no health issues and you're taking precautions, maybe that's something with a lot less risk. But, obviously what I do here is we wipe down all the weights with alcohol wipes. Only one person is allowed to use a certain set of weights until the routine is done. We do know now, and we're starting to realize more, just from the journal entries into the fitness world with medical communities, things like that it is spreading a lot. It can spread a lot quicker with heavy breathing, so staying actually even more than 6 feet apart while you're at the gym, taking your temperature before you go. Those types of things, minimizing the amount of people allowed in at a time. So I think we're all going to learn as this goes. We might mess up and we might have to, go back and revisit and revamp things. But I think we're all just learning. And one of the things I think we can maybe look at is what's working for some gyms and what's not working for some gyms, and maybe base some models off of that. And we're just, I guess, we have an opportunity to do that because we're a little bit more delayed than some of the gyms that are opening right now. So we can take the bad and we can make it good, I guess.
Yeah.
Look at,
I think a positive, and feel free to comment on this, but just the stuff out there on resistance training and body weight training, trying to, that's gonna, if you can focus on that in your workouts and being outside now that we're in the summer, I don't think there's a rush to reopen these weight rooms. And because what I've read is, we can't have our student athletes in the weight room because you just can't spot someone on the bench press really safely right now, for example. But you can do push-ups. You can have your I don't know, your younger siblings sit on your back and do some push-ups. You just have to get creative.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
I say this to everybody. I say, you don't need a single weight in your home to be healthy and fit. You can do a lot of that with resistance training, like you said, push-ups, you can do squats, you can do planks, you can do anything that you can do at home, you can do in a gym that doesn't require a lot of weight use. Yep.
And as you said, diet is huge. The other thing we get into when we get outside is snacking around the pool, the lake, or stuff like that. And obviously drinking and, alcoholic beverages are real high in calories and whatnot, but that's key. Huh? I know I've, as messed up as it sounds, I've had kind of fun trying to eat healthy, reading the labels and being aware of what you're putting in your body is huge, especially at my age of 60. That's real key.
Well, I actually want to say that this is what I've learned too in the last few years, and it's been a hard lesson, is that food is above everything. What you're eating, how you're eating, tracking what you eat it really should be a big piece of it, because we don't realize what we're eating until we actually start tracking it. And I know not everybody wants to do that, but there's all kinds of other programs that allow you to somehow do that, like portion control. And Weight Watchers has a way of looking at it too, where you're looking at portion sizes. I mean, there's so many different ways of doing it, and it has to be a continued change. It can't be something that I'm only going to do this for a month. Like the eating habits have to permanently change. And that's very hard for people. That's very difficult, especially, I think it's worse in the summer. You've got barbecues, like you said, you've got, people are wanting to go out to eat more. People are wanting to be more, especially right now, things are reopening and people are kind of forgetting how important that the eating habit has to be. And that goes for different goals. If I've got a client that says, you know, hey, I want to put on muscle mass. I want to look, you know, fuller. So then the eating habits are different than somebody that wants to lose weight. So when I talk about eating habits, I'm talking about like in general what your goal is. Your goal can be to beef up, muscle up, or it can be to lean down. I guess it's all in everyone's goal, but you can not work out at all, but change your eating plan and your body will change. That's how important eating the right thing is.
For sure. Yeah. And I think with COVID, you know, I know for me, once again, you know, I was doing all my own cooking. So you really know what's going into what you're eating, as opposed to, you know, we get so busy in our lives that, hey, I gotta get something quick. So, you know, I get takeout, or I go wherever, and you don't know necessarily so I think that's changed too. But just great stuff, Jen. And you know, it's so important to obviously take care of your body, and let's switch gears a little bit to your regular job as a licensed addiction specialist. We hear horror stories really worldwide, how COVID and isolation has made this worse. You know, alcoholism and drugs and all that stuff. You know, is that true in your line of work? Are you seeing a big change with COVID, or?
Absolutely. And another aspect of my life is that part of my life, and that is really completely changed as well. I deal a lot with resource building for people in the community that have addictions. Specifically, more so, I've dealt with more the opioid addiction in the last few years. You know, connecting people with rehabs, connecting people with physicians, psychiatrists, you know, things like that to help them get into recovery and stay into recovery when it comes to that. However, you know, you're dealing with addiction, and with addiction, the brain changes, the thinking process changes. We're not talking to somebody who's kind of very, very logical. So a lot of that is hard to do through FaceTime or through phone calls, through things like that. So sadly, we have found that a lot of the people that were in treatment and her recovery have fallen on the wayside, and have not kept up with the appointments through the phone, or the things that we have to do to be safe. That's sad. We've obviously seen increases in overdoses. We've seen increases in substance abuse. We've seen increases in depression, anxiety, all those types of things since, you know, not just me, but all of the other mental health providers in the community have had to step back and do a lot more of this type of communication versus, you know, in person. And so we have a lot of we're going to have a lot of work to do when we start getting back to, I guess, what we call normal. But the depression, the isolation, you know, you think about, there has been a lot of, you know, the NA meetings, the AA meetings, and all those things have all been stopped throughout the community, throughout the county. So that level of support has decreased. Some people have gotten sick with this throughout the state, and that's also set them back. It's just been a really rough road. I think, though, we're trying to be creative. We're trying to meet everybody's needs. We're trying to meet them where they're at. But again, you know, two of my careers have completely changed and how I deliver the service. So I'm learning. I'm not perfect. I'm learning. So we're all in it together, and we're all trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. How both your jobs are obviously connected. You know, for someone with trying to get themselves out of addiction, or you know, just to get outside and to exercise, once again, that I think that's going to help those people. But I cannot pretend to relate with someone who's an alcoholic, for example, or who's addicted to opioids. I can only imagine. But I'm sure that's a huge key, to get out, to exercise, to get your mind off it. And now that we're into summer, man, I was telling before you came on, the audience, I got the chance to go up deep into the Allagash this weekend, and man, was it beautiful to be out in nature.
Absolutely.
And just, you know, maybe you're not in great shape, but just to get out and start walking 3 days a week for 20 minutes or whatever, you know, that'll get you going. So
that's all it takes, is just a small amount of time, a small commitment. And sometimes, you know, just planting the seed will grow a tree, you know, just something small. But, you know, I guess addiction and fitness are really kind of parallel in some ways, in the fact that it takes a lot of change. It takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of stepping outside the comfort zone, doing things you normally wouldn't do, feeling uncomfortable. So, and in any recovery plan that I develop with people in their family or the teams, is a physical component being part of it. You know, even if you've never exercised, like you said, go take a 20-minute walk. It's gotta be part of the recovery. And anybody on any level, on any health condition, safely working with their doctor or whoever can implement a physical activity plan.
No, for sure, for sure. I tell my high school level students, Jennifer, you got to start with a goal. You know, my goal was always, you know, I'm tall and skinny, and in high school, my goal was always to put on muscle mass, like you said. So now you have a specific goal, right?
Right.
Or maybe your goal is the opposite. Maybe you are overweight, or you know, you're out of breath walking up the stairs, for example. So then you go into cardio and working on that stuff. But I think the goal is huge, right? Set a goal and then start working towards it.
Of course, absolutely. And, you know, and give yourself a chance. You know, it's not going to be fun right away. It's not going to, nobody wants to get up at 5:15. Nobody wants to cut out the potato chips at night when you're watching your Netflix. I mean, just know that nothing is going to change overnight. It's a completely, you got to rewire a lot of the way you think. You got to change a lot of the behavior, and that does come with time. And we live in a society where we want instant gratification, but we got to remember that change that's consistent and change that maintains takes a lot of work and a lot of time, and we got to give ourselves that.
Yeah, no, but you know what? It is amazing, as you know, once you start going through it, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing what's called Lift 4 now on
Yep.
Beachbody On Demand, and I'm going through it for the second time. So, and that should take me to July 4th. But I wouldn't use that. I would go to you first. That's what I want to tell our audience. But my point is, it's amazing to see the results, and it's so rewarding. But it sucks while you're going through it. You know, when you're doing that ab workout or you're doing whatever. You know, burpees, everybody loves burpees, right? But when you get through it, you know, it is rewarding, and you feel so much better. So I highly recommend people out there to contact you and to get on a program, because it is worth it for sure.
Definitely. And like I said, anybody can start anywhere.
Yeah. Listen, let me ask you two things. Let's get into this. Do you have a favorite local musical artist? We've been featuring local music here every day. Today is Adam Willett and CJ Terrio. Do you have a favorite local group or band or individual?
You know, I have to say I don't really keep up with that very much, but I'll tell you, Adam and you said CJ, right?
Yeah,
they're awesome.
they are.
They're really, really good. I have to say, Eric, I'm not really sure, but I think that anywhere there's music right now, I'm fine. Anyone that's singing, it could be my neighbor, anybody that's doing anything that's promoting, you know, wellness and optimism right now, and some type of normalcy, I fully support. So all you out there, awesome job.
Awesome. I agree. And here, I'll put you on the spot too. What fuels your morning? So what do you eat in the morning to get yourself going?
Well, actually, I love my breakfast time. I don't know, I just love breakfast. I do egg whites, and I know that might sound boring for people, but I throw spinach in there. I throw some shredded reduced fat cheese.
Really
I also
good.
do, yeah, and I make it like a big fluffy. I'm like, it's volume food. You can eat a whole lot of that, so you can get yourself really full on that stuff and not put a lot of crap in your body. I also do fruits, a lot of fruits in the morning, strawberries, you know, grapes, raspberries, anything like that. And I do I'm going to say that maybe they're wrong, the powdered peanut butter.
Yep.
Yeah, I do that like on whole wheat, either whole wheat English muffins or the whole wheat, waffles, things like that. So that's my breakfast. I get actually, I think it's actually pretty good. And I always make time for it. I never say never, but rarely ever skip that, because I know if I skip it, and I'm in between clients at my regular job, I'm gonna go grab something really bad. I'm gonna go grab a donut, or I'm gonna do something that I'm not really shouldn't do. But I do a lot of those things. I also do, like, you can take oatmeal and you can put egg whites in the oatmeal and make a pancake. So I do things like that. I'm not a shake person so much. I find it fills me up, and I don't really feel great when I do those. But in a pinch, I'll do a protein shake, things like that. But I make sure I get my protein in all day. You know, chicken, egg whites, those types of things. The peanut butters, protein, pretty important for me, because my goal is to keep my muscle on. So, and as I age, it's harder to do. So I'm pretty conscientious about that stuff. But I work out and then I'll eat. And some people do the opposite. Or, if I'm really in a rush and I've got 2 or 3 people in the morning and I've got my other job coming up, I'll do a protein bar, things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. You can tell that you've really based that off a lot of experience, and you're very knowledgeable about that. So listen, in closing, we are approaching the 8 a.m. hour. If someone out there wants to join you, what do they do to get into your classes and to get you as a trainer?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I don't have a website or anything like that. I probably have to learn how to do that. I also have a group called the Elite Fitness Group, and those are primary for people who participate in my classes or who are my private clients online, things like that. So pretty much I'm accessible through Facebook, and I'm pretty out there in Fort Kent. So just track me down the grocery store on the Heritage Trail, wherever somebody sees me. I'd be more than happy to assist you. And if I'm not the right person, I'll send you to somebody who is. But I love seeing the community so committed to fitness, and I love seeing people reaching out and making this part of their lifestyle.
Yeah, same here. We can't thank you enough for what you offer and what you do for the community. So folks, if you're looking to meet a goal, go on Facebook. Everybody goes on Facebook. So go on Facebook and search Jennifer Guyon Desjardins, and Desjardins has an S at the end, and they'll be able to get going here. So listen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great week of fitness and health and everything else, and we'll see you in our travels.
Okay, thank you so much, Eric. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jen. Take care. So that was Jennifer Guyon Desjardins. Thank you for us to do. Yeah, listen, everybody is always inadvertently or on purpose thinking about making a change with their fitness, and she is awesome. What a great resource for you to transform your life, really. Self-esteem, health, just your mental feeling every day is a lot to do with exercise. So we're going to close the show here with a little more CJ Theriault with Adam Ouellette, and let's take one more listen here real quick. This is almost a 3-hour performance, and you can find this on YouTube. Let's fast forward to the 2-hour mark here real quick. Tomorrow morning is Tuesday, 2 for Tuesday. So we're going to play 2 songs from each artist. So that'll be fun. 2 for Tuesday tomorrow, and we're going to keep cranking out the news, weather, all that great stuff. Coming up on Wednesday will be Mr. Wayne Anderson, the principal at Madawaska Middle High School. Here's Adam and CJ. Have a great day, everybody.